It went live, so here we are. I was gonna schedule it out for like 10 more minutes to get some things ready, but hey, what's up? Nomadic Zig here. How's everyone doing today? Gonna wait for some folks to show up because no one's here yet. And as the title said, I am out of supplies. Well, not supplies, but they are low. I'm out of water. Just found that out a little bit ago. When I was doing dishes, which thankfully I'd finished my dishes when I found out, but but nevertheless, that means tomorrow I'm gonna hook everything up and boogie on out of here. Trying to bring up my live stream on the big screen, but I don't know how. Here we go. Anyone's there, y'all can say hi. We're just chilling today. I'm about to pack a bowl. I'm low on supplies. Like I ran out of water. I know my propane's low, but thankfully the fridge is still going. I got plenty of food, but I am out of weed. Hey, what's up, Critter Bones? How you doing, man? Good to see you, bro. The RV made it to the first camp spot. Next stop is Oregon. I'm gonna be taking off tomorrow. I wasn't really planning on. I figured I had a few more days here because I do. It's a 2-week camp spot, but I figured I had more days here, but I guess I don't because I'm out of money, or not out of money, out of water. Cool, safe travels to Highway 12, Lolo Pass. I'm nowhere near that. What's up, Jackson? What's up, Michelle? How you guys doing? You've been pushing that Lolo Pass for a while, but I'm not going that direction. See if I can do this from here. Doing something I've never done before. There we go. Look at that. It worked. I don't know how exactly to pin that the way that I'm doing this because I'm using Samsung DeX. I don't know if any of you ever know what that is, but yeah, I'm using Samsung DeX to put the comments in, and usually I can like pin it. Oh wait, there it is. Haha, I can. Look at me go. Look at me go. Plus all those links are there or over here or wherever they are on your screen or in the description of the video too. So how's everyone doing today? I just figured I'd hop on here and smoke a little bit with you guys. Did anyone see my last video? Do you guys like it? I'll show you what I got left. I'll be able to get more when I get to Oregon, but that's what I got left. That's very sad. Oh, thanks for posting the wish list, Critter. Unfortunately, my wish list is currently not live because I don't have an address for anyone to send anything to. Hopefully that'll change soon. I'm gonna get a hold of my friends in Oregon and see if they wouldn't mind holding on to my mail. What up, Liberated? How you doing? But yeah, there's my link tree. I should have posted my link tree. Or where is it? Wherever it is on your screen. That's what I should have posted. In fact, I'm gonna post that unpin. I'm pinning that. There we go. Place pin message. That's much gooder. Much gooder. Good. How's the home rolling, Liberated? It's rolling. It's going pretty good. I'm trying to make myself comfortable in here. You know, I don't have a lot of like the cleaning stuff that I should have in a house. I don't have like, I don't know. There's just some shit I'm not used to buying, if that makes any sense. Like, because I've been in a van. So there's things that you need in a household that I don't have, like all-purpose surface cleaner of some sort, or I don't know. I need more dish soap. I'm about out of dish soap. Just low on supplies, man. I ran out of water today. Here's all the water I got left. which it's a 20-minute drive into town. I can go get some more like drinking water and stuff. But for like dishes and whatnot, I ran out of that. The onboard tanks are out of water, so I'm like, meh. I've been lingering here for a little over a week, but I think it's time to go. Thankfully, I still have brakes. I checked them. There's still pressure in them, but if not, there's some people camped nearby that showed up yesterday that if I had to like get some help, I could have them help me. But thankfully, I don't need to. You need to camp by the lake. I am camped by the lake. I'm camped right next to it. Camped right next to the lake. It's beautiful here. In fact, I woke up to snow like right on the hills next to me. Here, I'll show you. On the hills next to me, there was snow, but not in the camp, but definitely on top of these hills that I'm about to show you. Check this out. Right up on those hills was snow. Woke up to that the other day, and yeah, that was gross. First time seeing winter in a hot minute for sure. Throw this back down. Get some water from the lake. I don't know, man. That's not a terrible idea, really. It's water, but I don't know if I trust that water very much, to be honest with you. Dude, snow this late. It actually was on the summer solstice. It snowed here, and it didn't reach the campsite, but it was like, dude, it was like 200 feet in elevation was the snow line. So much colder it would have gotten to me. But I thought the same thing. Like, dude, it's summer. Why is it snowing? Scary. Yeah, a little bit scary. I don't like cold. I don't like snow that much. I grew up in the snow, and I'm over it. Yeah. This is my last bowl. I do have like a pile of roaches, but it's not green, you know what I mean? Oh no, snow. Yeah, I know. Y'all live in the snow. Snow's gross. Dude, snow makes everything inconvenient. It makes driving inconvenient. It makes walking inconvenient. Like the bottom, because you walk to the store and then they dry out and they're all soaking wet at the bottom. I hate that shit. You see me in the mirror? You do see me in the mirror, don't you? You see my setup here. If you guys watched Desert Coffee, or if you watched the last video that I posted a couple of scenes from Desert Coffee with George in it. And this is where he was sitting when he cracked open his beer and he was like, life is good out here. This is where he was sitting, right here. Behind the scene. You guys are the scene. What are you talking about? I mean, I'll show you my table. It's a mess right now, but this is my setup. Yeah. Like this right now is powering the phone. That is powering the screen. And this is how I control the screen. This is like a trackpad for the mouse that's on the screen. It's called Samsung Dex. So yeah, this is how I watch TV and stuff. I hook my phone up to the screen. I've had some power issues in this thing recently. I had an inverter in here that wasn't working, so I pulled it out and I took the inverter out of the van and I put it in here, and it stopped working. So now I'm down an inverter that was working, and now it won't turn on. I didn't put it back in there to see if it's this system or not. I'm not really sure why it stopped working. I'm a bit frustrated with it, but I don't have power in here right now. I mean, I do have lights and stuff, but to like plug things in, I'm just using the power banks that I have. So my sister and I were rock climbing on the 4th of July one year, and we were so high up in the mountains, it was snowing more ways than one. Yeah, dude, you rock climb? I rock climb before. I prefer doing like rappelling, but what's up, Retro? Retro Games, what up, dude? I play some retro games, bro. I got an emulator on my laptop, and I'd be playing some retro stuff. In fact, I have every single Nintendo game installed onto it, and Super Nintendo game installed onto a couple of different emulators. In fact, every single Nintendo game ever made took up less space on my hard drive than a high definition picture. So let me give you one piece of advice. Don't sleep with your brother-in-law's wife. Pissed off my entire family. My brother? You mean your sister? Bro. Is she hot? I thought cousins was weird. I guess better your brother-in-law than your stepfather's wife, right? Also ran out of paper towels. I got plenty of toilet paper though. Oh shit! I just realized I got plenty of toilet paper, but how am I gonna flush? I gotta save some of this water for flushing. I do wish that this campground had like a dump station and a fill-up station, but they don't have that here, so. That's almost as bad as say you married your brother's sister. Flushed with river water. I guess I could just go like wake up in the morning and go for like a waist deep swim, and then I don't have to flush. It would have been cool if you passed through Casper. It's funny because the friends I was with I was in Deer Lodge, Montana, at George's place. The friends that I was with up there, they went towards Casper, and I'm going towards Oregon, so kind of going the other direction. I lived by the river for a bit. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. I lived in the van down by the river. Now I call this my stretch limousine van. I have a stretch limousine van, you guys. We bougie up in here. Hey, don't forget to smash that like button. For those who haven't, there's a few of you who haven't. I don't know what you're waiting for. I just did it. You can too. I believe in you. I believe in you. Too cool. Too cool for a school. Too school for cool. You know what my favorite part about the RV right now is that I can sit right here and open the fridge and grab me a drink. More like a spaceship on wheels. Dude, I have seen Spaceballs. And yeah, I think about that shit, you know, Spaceballs. You know, they're thinking about making a Spaceballs too. I really hope they don't. I'm going to download that movie today. I really hope they don't, but I think they're going to. In fact, I got to write that down. Let me grab a pen. Download Spaceballs. I see that your Schwartz is as big as mine. It is kind of like a spaceship. I mean, it's got like living quarters and you know, the SS. Let's see. Someone told me what the SS stood for, but I forgot. Download Spaceballs. Download Spaceballs. What else should I download? Add that to my server. I've given you guys a tour of a server before. That and in Living Color. Yeah, I mean, Living Color was a show. The older shows are a little hard to find on the way that I download stuff. It can be kind of tough. I just dropped you guys. Oh, it popped right off of the clip. Okay. Okay, you cheap Amazon shit. There we go. There you go. Mic down. We have a mic down. Send in the 10th mountain. We got a mic down. Yeah. So I was just watching South Park and figured I'd hop on here and say hi to everyone. Homie the Clown is my favorite clown. Is that from In Living Color? I do remember In Living Color because that's the first time I ever saw Jim Carrey, but he was casted as James Carrey. James Carrey. Fake ass Jimmys everywhere. See, guys, I know I don't go by my birth name, but my birth name, my real government Christian name, is Jimmy. And I see all these people every time I meet a Jimmy, they're like, "Hey, what's up? My name's Jimmy." And I'm like, "Is it Jimmy or is it James?" And they're like, "It's James." So I'm like, "Quit stealing my fucking name, you fake ass fronting motherfuckers. My name's Jimmy. Yours is James. What's wrong with your name?" Correct, In Living Color. Okay. Yeah, so you guys are like just slightly before my time. In Living Color was slightly before my time. By like a few years. I was born in 84. So Jimmy Thieves, yeah, a bunch of fakers, man. I've never ever except for my grandfather. I was named after my grandfather, but I've never ever met an authentic Jimmy before. Ever. Never. Like their birth name. It's always James. It's always Jameses that don't like their name. But I'm Jimmy and I go by Zig, so I guess it doesn't really matter anyway. Liberated, born in 76. Gregory, born in 68. Dude, you kind of look good for your age. Haven't I seen a picture of you on your channel? Figured you were closer to my age. But born in 68. Let's see, how old does that make you? So 2008, you would have been 40. 50, 60. You're pushing 60, aren't you? Jesus. Time flies, doesn't it? Let's see, it's 2025. So you're 57 this year, right? I can do math. Bet you guys didn't think I could. I could school you in some math. Like literally, I used to teach math. I used to tutor math for the ASVAB, and I've tutored the kids in slabs for a lot of years. Yep, and yes, time flies. The older I get, the faster it goes. 40 is going to be weird. Like, I'm already 41, right? Like, and I don't know. I kind of worry sometimes that I've peaked, I guess, is maybe I'm going through a midlife crisis, but kind of worried that like my best times are behind me because they fucking probably are. But I will say that I had a lot more fun in my 30s than I did my 20s. 20s was just work, work, work. 30s was work, 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 and then now let's kind of chill out a little bit. I can already hear all you guys going, "Oh, he thinks he's old. He's only 40." While you shake and like look for your cane. I hear that all the time that my kids look older than I do. Stop eating pork. Dude, I got a lot of bacon left. So I don't actually, the only time I really eat pork is breakfast foods. Like sausage. Sausage and bacon. And that's some gassy ass weed. But yeah, like sausage and bacon. Those are I don't really do pork chops. I eat more chicken. I should probably just quit eating red meat. I did just recently get some fish and a bunch of chicken. I marinated the chicken, and then I marinated it for like 2 days, and then I fried it up, skilleted it up. Hey, Jeffro, thanks for that donation, bro, for the positive vibes. I appreciate that. Shit, yeah, you guys. Didn't even know you were here, Jeffro. I haven't seen you. Barking across America, what's up? Anywhere near Montana? Come on out. I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to Yellowstone. Like, I'd love to get to Yellowstone. I really would. But here's the thing. Like, where I'm at, I'm right here, and Yellowstone is, like, right here. But to get there, I've got to go all the way down here and then back up here. It's literally, like, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours out of my way in the wrong direction, which means 6 hours total. So there and back. 6 hours in the van would probably be okay. It wouldn't be too expensive. 6 hours in the RV is just a lot of money. Hey, there's Jeffro. What's up, dude? Oh, you're in Cheyenne. Shit, yeah. Yeah, everyone's in Wyoming. What's up, Sapphire? Long time no see. Good to see you. Still one of the road dogs. What up, road dog? Appreciate you very much. We're just over here burning. I'm drinking a cold one, which, let's be completely honest, it's a cold Pepsi with real sugar, though. I don't really drink that much. Here, I'll show you how much I don't drink. If Heath and Bobby, if you're watching, you're going to enjoy this. This is how much I don't drink. I've been carrying these around. I don't know why I'm yelling louder. My microphone's on my shirt. So these were donated to me by Heath and Bobby, some friends of mine from Slabs. And, I mean, they're genuinely fucking amazing people. But they donated this stuff to me. This is still here. I've still got it. I don't remember cracking this open, but I guess maybe I had a shot out of it once. And then I still got the moonshine. This one's for toothache, and this one's apple pie 120 proof. Like, I've still got the moonshine, and I've still got the cinnamon whiskey. That's how much I drink. I've been carrying these around for probably like 6 months now. But let me see. Yeah, maybe like 4 to 6 months, something like that. Eventually I'm gonna get used out of these, especially the tooth pain one. 180 proof. That's flammable. 180 proof. That's, bro. There's a bomb right there. And there's 120 proof apple pie. Okay, that's all right. I like that. I might drink some of that tonight. Why not? How am I doing? I'm doing all right. Burning with me. Fuck yeah. I'm doing all right. Just low on supply. I've been sitting here. Like, I got here to this spot where I'm at, and it's kind of been a shit show since I got here. I'll show you in my next video what I'm talking about. But I've been here. I figured I'd be here for like a few days, but it's been over a week now. And it's 2 weeks of free camping, and there's a pit toilet here, which you never see at free camp spots. There's a picnic table and a fire ring at each spot too. I can just show you. Check this out. Check it out. Check it out. Yeah, see? There's a fire ring at each camp spot. Boing, boing, boing. And a table. Yeah, those hills out there also had snow on them. But it's really pretty here. But it's 2 weeks for free, for absolutely free. The camp host has swung by and recorded my license plate. They were pretty cool. And yeah, never see that at free camp spots. Tables, fire rings, pit toilet. This is what you would pay. You'd have to pay for this in any other place I've ever been to. So this is definitely a diamond in the rough. You can help out next Wednesday. That's cool. That's what I was saying. I've been here for a little over a week, and I filled up my water tanks. I filled up my propane, filled up everything. And I didn't know how long I was going to be able to last before either one of a few things happened. Running out of water was the first thing that I was worried about. Running out of propane is the second thing I was worried about. My gray water tank filling up could be an issue, and then my black water tank filling up. Those are the four things that I was really like, okay, how long can I last completely boondocking before I run out of some sort of supply? And so far, it's been a week and like 3 days, week and 2 days, something like that. That's how long my freshwater tank lasted, which isn't that long. That's really not very long. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out how to like conserve a little more water. I don't know how to do. I mean, I only did dishes and like I took 2 showers in the week. I mean, I still bird bath and stuff every day, brushing your teeth, whatever. But I don't know. The week isn't very long on the water tank here, but it is what it is. That's about how long I can last, a little over a week before I got to drive this pig and fill up on water. And I'm thinking I'm going to be leaving here. Someone asked where I'm headed next. I'm going to be leaving here and I'm headed towards Oregon next. Headed towards Central Oregon next. And I don't think I'll just make it there in one day. So it'll probably be like me stopping at a rest stop or a truck stop or something, and staying the night and then continuing on to the next spot in the morning. Continuing on might take 2 or 3 days because it's a little slower in this pig, but that's where I'm headed next. Headed to Oregon. Hey, what's up, Sharon? Yeah, free camping. Wow, free camping, totally free right here, and it's so pretty. It's really beautiful here. Probably free because if you come to this area, you're probably going through it on your way to like Yellowstone. So most people are probably camping out in Yellowstone, but it is really pretty here. I've enjoyed the view. But tomorrow it'll be a different view because I'm pulling out tomorrow. Gonna have to wake up and hook up the van, do a little walkabout, make sure everything on the RV is gonna be all right to drive. Make sure all my boxes are closed and make sure that the trailer's hooked up right and the van's hooked up to the trailer right. That's actually my biggest fear is the van just coming off. And I thought it happened on my drive here too. I pulled over and got out of the RV to check because I was able to see it in my mirror. I was able to see the side view mirror of my van in the mirror of the RV. And then after, a little bit down the road, I couldn't see it anymore. And so I was getting a little nervous and a little worried. So I actually pulled over and got out to check to see if the van was still attached, and it was, but made me really nervous. Driving this thing is a little more stressful than just cruising around in the van. So what I'm most likely going to do is find spots to post up for like a few months at a time. And then, move along. Basically be in one spot for each season is kind of what I'm thinking. But I think that'll be kind of difficult when I'm in the summertime because there's not very many places you can go where you have more than 2 weeks. Most places, most public lands, you have 2 weeks. That's your limit, and then you have to move along. So I don't know. It's a little bit more of a struggle up here than it is when you get back down south into the desert, because even though the rules are the same in the desert, nobody really enforces it down there. There are so many people. Everyone's just living and taking care of their areas, so it's not like heavily enforced. When in the summertime, when I go north, it's just I kind of get lumped in with all the homeless people, I think, which I know I'm homeless, but you know what I mean. The people that are staying put and just dug in and get more and more dug in on public lands. That's not what I'm doing. I just don't want to have to move this thing every 2 weeks. But if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Oregon state parks are going to be a huge blessing because they've got full hookups there and the dump stations and stuff. So I could pay like $30 or whatever to go stay there for a night and then dump everything and fill up on all my supplies, plug in the RV to charge the batteries and whatnot. If I take the time, which I've done this before, but if I take the time, Oregon State Parks has a really good program for disabled veterans. If you're a disabled veteran and you are a resident of the state of Oregon, you can get 10 free days of camping every single month at Oregon State Parks. But you have to send in all this paperwork and sign up for it and prove that you're a disabled veteran, and then they send you a pass, and it's an annual pass. And at the end of the year, you have to do it all again and send all that information again so they can send you another annual pass. And every year you have to do this to make sure that you didn't like move out of Oregon and you're just coming back to use the parks. But yeah. I sure miss trees. Yeah, Sapphire, where do you live that you miss trees? It is a beautiful spot here, dude. I would hook up a Goodwill baby monitor in your van when you drive, but I'm crazy. You know, that is something that I need to do. I'm gonna be putting that on my wish list, so stay tuned for that. The radio in here, that's what I was thinking in my head. The radio in here is a little bit old school radio. For like $100, you can get a radio that has a backup camera that you can install. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna install a backup camera on the back of the RV and hook into a radio here. That's really the best option I could think of. Because maybe there used to be a camera in the back for your tow vehicle, but it's not there no more. Arizona, just outside of Phoenix. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that area. In fact, I'm considering camping in Phoenix next year. I'm thinking there's 2 spots that I'm thinking about posting up over the winter, and one of them's Phoenix, just outside of Phoenix, because I could camp there for the winter, basically. Have I ever checked out KOAs? Yes, Critter, I have checked out KOAs. KOAs are very expensive, which I know they have a lot of amenities, but I can get a hotel room for the same price that I can get a KOA and have my own private room and my own private bathroom and, and a nice bed. Fucking KOAs are really expensive. State parks are much cheaper for me, and they have full hookups also. And they're usually in really pretty spots. So it really just, for me, comes down to the money. I usually just boondock because spending that much money on one night, like $100 to hook up the RV for one night, that is so crazy to me. I could only do that for 10 days and then I'd be out of money for the month. Like it's just like 1/10 of my income basically would go to one night of being hooked up. What's up, Jeffy? Got Jeffro and Jeffrey in the house. That's what's up. I dig it. Speaking of Buddy, raise your hand if you saw my last video. I got a new dog, you guys. Well, new to me. I mean, I've known him his whole life, but he's an old dog. He's a geriatric old. I think he's like he's not completely deaf, but he's pretty damn deaf and going blind. So, but he's chilling outside right now. He really likes being outside. He's on a leash, but yeah, he really likes chilling. I also need to get my hair cut, like growing some wings here. Try to tuck them under the hat, but they poke out. They're like, I want to be free. Release me. Hell yeah, don't forget to smash the like button, you guys. 18 people in here. We're chilling. We're just chilling. This really is the prettiest free camp spot with the most, not the prettiest, but maybe. I don't know. It's pretty up there. It's definitely one of the prettier free camp spots I've ever been to because you can pull up right to the water. Like, that's fucking cool. Usually you can't camp this close to a lake for free. Usually you're spending money if you're this close to a lake. But not here. I'll show you all again. Check this shit out. Quartzsite. I'm so over quartzsite, dude. Is that where you are, Santee? Seriously. I guess I could have parked closer to the lake. But I thought this was fine. There were a few other people here when I got here. But yeah, those are bathrooms right there. Oop, yep, right there. Oop. That's the bathroom. I could just do this. Yeah. And then a boat dock that doesn't even reach the water anymore, so I assume the water level's pretty low. Oh, you're in Glendale. Yeah, quartzsite's cool for a day. Maybe two, to be honest with you. After about a week in quartzsite, I'm bored. Dude, it is. It is kind of like heaven. It's really pretty here. Like, it's really, really pretty here. And honestly, for a free camp spot, this is one of the best free camp spots I've ever seen. Like, genuinely, I've saved this on my locations now. The biggest downfall for this, aside from the hill right here, there's a hill that goes all the way down, so it's hard to level. But the biggest downfall for me has been it's a 20-minute drive to anything. So I ended up having to go to town a couple of times to the hardware store to fix some stuff on the RV that broke. And I'll be showing that off in my next video, but it was a 20-minute drive each time, and that's like 40 minutes there and back. So that's maybe the biggest downfall for this spot, but that's pretty minor if you think about it. Yeah, no way it's free. Yeah, this is totally free, bro. Totally free for 2 weeks. You can camp here for absolutely free. The camp hosts swing by. They don't actually stay here. They stay at a different spot, but he swung by and just recorded my license plate and bounced. Sharon, I don't have a fishing license in Montana. I do have a fishing license in Oregon. But the best spots in Oregon to camp have no cell signal. So that'll end up maybe being a reason that I don't stay there long. But I've got perfect signal here. Like perfect cell signal. Totally free. Has fire rings and picnic tables at each spot. Has a bathroom. It's and a lake. This is honestly like I'll be coming back to this spot again. I'll definitely know this spot exists. This is so every time I find a free camp spot that's really good, I have so many different spots saved onto my my own Google Maps that I've found over the last 12 years I've been traveling. So let's see. There. Oh, my bad. So my Google Maps is like got a ton of like pins all over it that I've saved over the years, so I can always find different camp spots that and then I describe the camp spot in that pin. So, the US is just, mainly the West, is just covered in pins all over the place. So anywhere I go, I know that there's a camp spot nearby. But I've definitely saved this one. This is a good one. It'd be nice to have a fishing license, though, in Montana. But if I was going to get a fishing license in Montana, I didn't do that because... Oops. I didn't do that because, first of all, you'd have to get the out-of-state, license. I'm not a resident of Montana. And then it costs a little more. Plus, I wasn't going to be here long enough. I didn't even know I'd be camping next to a lake. That was a surprise to me. When I found this spot, I was like, no fucking way. So I didn't expect to have an opportunity to fish, but apparently I did. I don't know if I even have the tackle to fish this lake. I guess I could, I'd have to look up the regulations. I might have some spinners or something where I could fish off the bottom. I just don't think, I think best fishing is going to be further out. But fuck me, is it pretty here? It really is. I'm almost thinking I might have to run into town to get another gallon of water just to make it till tomorrow. Because when I leave here, I'm going to start heading south and then west. But the closest town is north until I get to Idaho, and I got to go all the way through Idaho, which I fucking hate Idaho. I really don't like Idaho. It's not that pretty of a state until you get up into Coeur d'Alene area, and their laws are ass backwards, and it's just desert for high desert forever. So, it's one of those states I just hold my breath and try to get through. But I'll probably be staying the night in Idaho tomorrow. And then wake up and then continue on to Oregon and get as close to Bend as I can get. I'm thinking I'll stay out at the Oregon Badlands for a little while. I know there's some free camping there. It's just a little farther from town than here. So, and there's, it's just desert. But I got to stop going back to Bend is my thing, because Bend isn't very well set up for RVers. It's not very well set up for not very well set up for travelers. I mean, it's really not. And travelers go there, though. There's tons of travelers that go there. But there's very few RV parks. There's 4 RV parks in the whole town. And they have waiting lists for years. And there's not very many dump stations to dump the RV. So that's going to start costing money. There's not very many. There's no truck stop in Bend. In Central Oregon at all. There's not one truck stop. I don't know. It's just not a very good spot for an RV. But I have to go back there. And then from there, I'm going to go towards Salem. And then probably start chugging along down I-5 maybe. Because the 101 is a complete shit show right now. Catfish sounds good right about now. Yes, catfish is all right, dude. I don't know, I don't eat a whole lot of whitefish. But the only way to eat catfish is to fry the absolute shit out of it. I will say catfish are some tough-ass fish, though. You can put them in a Walmart bag and I could drive to a different lake right now. And it could take me a couple hours, but then I could throw them in there and they'd be alive. It'd still be alive. What are you guys smoking on? Don't hold back. Don't hold back. Tell me. I've had to fix a few things with Gorilla Tape recently. That'll be in my next video. So, I don't know. There's been a few things about the RV that I wasn't, I guess, prepared for. I didn't know was going to be an issue, but it was an issue, and I'm going to highlight those in my next video. And I'm out of I'm out of green weed now. All I got left is roaches. So it's definitely time to get to Oregon. So here's my thing. Like, weed in Montana is completely legal, right? I can go down to the dispensary and get some weed. Except my fucking ID is expired, and it's been expired now for like since my birthday in January. I'm on my way to Oregon. That's one thing I have to go do is renew my driver's license. And then so I can but I'm out of weed and I can't go to the dispensary to get some because my ID's expired. So once I get to Oregon, I got people there, and my people will go to the weed store for me. You know what I mean? Like, that won't be an issue. I don't want to be that guy outside of the weed store being like, "Will you buy me a joint?" Like those kids, like when you were a kid trying to get alcohol. What do I need, bro? I don't need much right now. I'm I'm I've been boondocking here at this free camp spot now for a little over a week, and I just ran out of fresh water, so my supplies are low. What do I need for the RV? Um, some fuel. If you wanted to donate money for fuel, that would be pretty sick because I'm about to leave tomorrow. I'm taking off and heading towards Oregon tomorrow. But I was trying to see how long I could last in boondocking before I ran out of one of four things. And I explained this earlier, but I'll do it again. There was four resources basically that I would force me to move the RV, and one is propane. The onboard propane tank, the nozzle isn't the right size, I guess, so they couldn't fill it up. But I had a 5-gallon tank that also got with the RV that they filled up for me, and I have it plugged in right now. But yeah, that. And fresh water with my black water tank and my gray water tank. When either of those filled up, any one of those things would have forced me to move. And I ran out of fresh water like an hour ago while I was doing dishes, which, by the way, I will say is the worst part about having a house again, having an RV again with a sink and dishes, is because it means I have to do the dishes like every day. There's like more dishes. Do I have Cash App? Yeah, dude. If you look at the pinned comment on the chat, it's got my link tree right there. Critter Bones posted it. Should be at the top of the chat. If you click on that, my Cash App will be right there. But it's cash tag Zig0420. But yeah, that's probably the only, since we got the brakes squared away after the last live shit show, dude, that was a mess. And then once I figured out where I was supposed to be bleeding the brakes, they still couldn't bleed because there was so much air in the system. So I guess it went up so high that he had to hook up some machine that just like vacuumed out, or like, I don't know what he was doing under there while I was in here, but he got the air out of the line and it's holding. So but I was bleeding in the wrong spot, and that might have been why there was so much air in it, but I don't know. The brakes were gone before I got to it, so. Right, shopping list before you go to the store, that is something that I need to do. Yeah, no worries, Jay. I appreciate you, man. What's up, Daryl? What's up, man? Good to see you. Cheers. We're drinking Pepsi Cola up in here. You guys, all right. Let's do the debate. You guys ready for the debate? Pepsi or Coke? Which one do y'all prefer? Pepsi or Coke? Greatest debate of our time. Scattered says Coke. Sharon says Coke. Santee says Coke. Liberated says cherry Coke. That's still Coke. That's specific, but that's still Coke. You guys are wrong. Pepsi. Cherry Pepsi. I don't like Coke that much, but it smells good. Unless you're talking about the soda. In which case, I don't know what that smells like. Definitely Pepsi G4 live resin. See, cherry. Yeah, cherry's good. I do like cherry. I got some cherry Dr. Pepper the other day, and it was gross. Don't do that. Yeah, that's it. That's the Cash App right there. Zig0420 with a cash tag in front of it. We went from calling it the pound sign to hashtag, and then we went from calling it the dollar sign to cash tag. The future is fucking weird, dude. The future is so weird. You know, fun fact, my generation is the last generation to grow up without technology. Like, it was us. We were the last ones. And now the kids are growing up with every piece of screen that you can put in front of them. But mine was the last generation to do that. It was us, the millennials. The last Smith says Pepsi. Okay. Did we add these up? Who's got how many for what? Let's see. One, two, three, four for Coke. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck, 4 for Pepsi. See, this is the problem with only 2 options. When you only have 2 options, it's almost always 50-50, dude. Almost always like split right down the middle. Why can't we have a third option? And if anyone brings up RC Cola, I'm going to ban you from my channel forever. Grew up with a black and white TV. The TV I remember when I was growing up had that little button that would go and it would turn it back to black and white or color, which I never understood why they gave you the option to take the color off. Like, why the fuck would you want to watch black and white when you had an option to watch color? Like, why would you? Anyways, we had that option on our TV, was to have this little button that would turn it to color or turn it to black and white. Mexican Coke, dude, that's basically what I'm drinking. Real sugar, made with real sugar, not high fructose corn syrup. And I know it's backwards on your, it reverses the image, but just believe me. Dr. Pepper is the third option. Dr. Pepper is a Pepsi product. So you're just voting for Pepsi, bro. Yeah, Mexican soda. Mexican Coke, actually. Okay, so if I vote for Mexican Coke, but American Pepsi. Don't ask me why. All right, bacon or sausage for breakfast? Like bacon or sausage? Which would you prefer? Ever seen Mexican Pepsi? It's just regular Pepsi that's made with real sugar. In Mexico, they don't put high fructose corn syrup in their sodas. They just use regular sugar. So anytime you see made with real sugar, it's Mexican. Americans do the high fructose corn syrup. They don't. Trying to get this to extend more. I don't know if I'm tightening it. There we go. Didn't know if I was tightening it or not. I was. Neither. Pork is bad for me. Waffles. Pork is bad for you. I had a nutritionist once that told me if it doesn't swim, fly, or grow out of the ground, then don't eat it. So pork, beef, should just cut out red meat, eat fish and chicken for the rest of my life. Isn't that pretty? I missed a good opportunity when it snowed the other day to make a time lapse of it melting. I didn't realize it until it was already basically melted that I was like, oh, that would have been a fucking cool time lapse. but I would have had to put my phone up there recording for hours. Cows are some of the strongest animals on the planet, and they only eat grass. Okay, I mean, are they strong? No, they're really heavy. Oxen are pretty fucking strong. When I go camping, I cook a pound of bacon every morning. Dude, I've cooked bacon. I bought a pound of bacon and I've cooked twice and still have over half of the bacon. It's just me. An absolutely beautiful fucking spot. The view is just amazing, and this is free camping spot. You could stay there, not indefinitely. No, I can't stay here indefinitely. You have 2 weeks for free that you can stay here, and then you have to leave. And they do have a host that comes around to make sure too. How did you like driving the motorhome while pulling the van? It was. I've done it before, but it is really nerve wracking, to be honest with you. Like, I keep second guessing like the hookup and how the trailer is, and I keep second guessing if I've strapped the van down tight enough, and like, I don't know, it was a bit nerve wracking, but I made it. Everything was fine. Being there would make you forget our fierce leader bombs other countries and moves on like shit's kind of weird. Yeah, yeah. I typically don't talk politics, but I understand that right now our country is in some precarious times. And without pointing fingers or assigning blame, because that's not really helpful. I will say that I understand a lot of you are like maybe getting a little nervous or apprehensive about how things are going. But I will say this. This is what I'm going to say to you about that. We've survived as a nation, as a people. We've survived much worse than what we're going through right now. And it hasn't been because we pointed fingers at anybody. It's it's because we've remembered that we're Americans first and the rest of it later. I don't care if you have a D or an R in front of your name. I don't care if you trans or you hate trans. You guys need to remember that you're Americans first. I don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, if you're Asian. I don't care what your background is. If you're here and you love this country, then let's start there, and let's just start there. And that's the only way we're going to make it through this. It's the only way. It's the only way. If you look throughout history, we have a long history of overcoming our issues, and it's been because we've united. At the end of the day, we've just decided that we are Americans first. So the rest of it, just ignore it and reject it. We're going to get through this too. The nation's going to be fine. It's just a bit bumpy at the moment. That's what I'm going to say about it. It is a beautiful view, dude. Zig for president 2028. Dude, I'd fuck shit up too. That job would be so stressful. It really would. Like, and thank God it's temporary too, because I couldn't imagine doing that job for your whole life. Like other countries where their leaders are in charge forever. Like that'd be so stressful. And you're because not only is everyone looking for you to take care of them, but they're also looking at you to blame. So, the amount of hate that you get, regardless if you are doing a good job or not, it's just, I don't know. It's got to be a really tough job. But I got some pretty, I wouldn't say extreme political ideas, but my political ideas are way out on the fringe. So I would just piss everyone off, I'm sure. We are only 4% of the world's population, Scattered says. But you know what? We might be only 4% of the world's population, but the world has a long history, at least about 100-year history or so, of looking to us for like, what is the Americans doing? Because that's probably the right thing to do. But I don't think that's happening right now anymore. We have 4% of the world's population, but we also have like most of the world's We are a superpower. You can't deny that. And that means like not just with military might, but with culture. You know, Hollywood is here and it touches everybody's house in the world except for like, you know, very extreme dictatorship countries like North Korea and stuff, or maybe the isolated countries like, you know, where there's Aborigines, they don't know, you know, what Hollywood is, but for the most of the world, like our culture influences everybody. So we need to live up to what our forefathers and our grandfathers even um, have created for us, and stop fucking bickering like a bunch of little kids. That's what I gotta say about it. Just be nicer to each other. You're talking to other Americans. United we stand, divided we fold. Zig, you got my vote for president, dude. So there's no way I could be president because they would dig up some Facebook comments of mine that would like, I don't know. I'm like South Park, dude. I piss everybody off because I'll get bored and start trolling people. Just think of it like this: if you were president, you could move the White House to Slab City, so then I could piss off every American and the slabbers. That's just what they need is the fucking government planting their headquarters right there in slabs. We could build a White House out of garbage. Did you hook the up the bedroom in the RV? What do you mean? Did I hook up the bedroom? I would show you my bedroom right now, but it's pretty fucking messy. Are you talking about that bedroom? I mean, I could. I guess I could plug. I could run an extension cord out of. I could hook my. I don't know. I've had some inverter issues lately. Might have to get a new inverter. Mine might be toast. I'm not sure why, but I could get an inverter, plug it into there, and then run an extension cord through here. I guess. But no, I haven't pimped it out. I have. I don't. I just got it, and I don't know how to decorate, bro. Like I hung some hats up because there were already some hooks, but I don't know how to decorate very well. I'm not very good at this. I need an adult, or maybe I just need a girl. No, I'm not showing you my bedroom. It's definitely messy right now. You can throw my party at the hot springs for all of Congress. I think that if I was president, I don't know if they'd let me move the White House, but I could definitely just live in slabs, and they would have to come protect me. Need some cool black lights. Yeah, that's a good idea. When I say I don't know how to decorate, I'm not kidding, dude. I genuinely don't know how to decorate. Plus, there's not like wall space, if you know what I mean. It's all like cabinets in there and windows. So, and the cabinets are mirrored cabinets. Um, I do have a pretty large sticker collection that I guess I could start slapping stickers on shit, but yeah, let me spin this around. I bet that was abrupt. But no, I just don't know what to do. Like, not to mention it costs money to decorate, really. I think over time I'll decorate. Plus, I keep thinking about this. I don't want to buy a whole bunch of stuff for the RV because I'm headed to Oregon and I have a whole bunch of shit in my friend's attic and I have no idea what I have in there and what I don't. I kind of forgot what I have. I do know one thing I'm excited to get back to is I have a little miniature PC, like a small little, basically like a itty bitty little computer that I plug my hard drive into, and it runs my Jellyfin server. So instead of my laptop doing it, I could just have the PC doing it. Doesn't take up very much power, and have the Jellyfin server running. Some things I would like to get for this. It has an onboard generator, um, but it has. I haven't checked it out. I have no idea how much oil's in it. I don't. I probably need to do an oil change on it. Maybe check this. Well, it's a diesel generator, so do I still have the solar from the old van? Yeah, it's still on the old van. But my inverter is toast. I don't know why, but it won't turn on no more. And like I tinkered with it for almost a whole day, like trying to install it, and it hook up that solar like the old van. Dude, the solar's already hooked up in here. It's already got solar. It's got two AGM 100 amp hour batteries. It's got a MPPT charge controller, and it had an inverter that wasn't working. And it started when I got here, and I flicked it on, and it was working just fine for like half a day, and then it stopped working. It would turn on, and then it would just slowly turn off. And I've never seen an inverter do this before, but it would slowly turn off. And I was like, okay, this thing is old. It's not a great inverter. So I took it out, and I took the inverter out of the van because I never used it. The whole time it's been in there, I don't think I've turned it on but maybe twice. And I brought it into here, and I installed it into here, and it was working just fine all evening. And then I turned it off. I went to bed. When I woke up, I went to turn it on, and nothing. Click, 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 wouldn't turn on. So I checked the lines going into it, and it's got power going into it, but it just won't turn on. So that sucks. It's a 2,000 watt Renogy inverter. So which, you know, the you guys got me that inverter, and I'm really bummed that it's not turning on. So what I think I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna call Renogy whenever I get planted in Oregon and I have an address they can send me something. I'm gonna call Renogy customer support, see if they can walk me through why the fuck it's not working no more. And then batteries do have a charge. Yeah, that was the first thing I checked. See, the batteries went low that night. It had the low wattage beep, so I turned it off when the low wattage alarm went off. And the next day, the batteries were just fine when the sun came up, and it charged the batteries back up. And I went to flip the inverter back on, and nothing. And I've drained batteries before, and the alarm goes off, and I turn it off, and it's just fine. But this time, it wouldn't turn back on. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Critter, I think sounds like the inverter has a bad connection on the inside of the inverter. So when I get there, I'm gonna call Renogy, and if they can't help me, I'm opening that son of a bitch, and I think maybe there's a fuse in there that maybe got blown somehow, but it's definitely there's power going into it, so it's definitely the inverter. And now I have two inverters, the one that was already in here, and then the one that came out of the van. So that's fun, but it's okay because there's nothing that I'm using an inverter or the 110. There's nothing I'm using it for. I do have a deep freezer though, and it would be nice to be able to use the deep freezer on the solar and just start filling it with stuff. But I can't right now because I can't. When the inverter is on, I can run all the outlets. It's set up for that. I've just got to plug into the power, and it runs into the breakers that runs all the outlets. And if I get the inverter working, but I don't know why that inverter got. I have no idea what could have done it because it wasn't even on. It wasn't even fucking on. But it got toasted somehow. And I don't want to get another inverter and put it in and have that happen to the new one either. So I guess if I did that though, I could just say it showed up like that. But still, like, I want to figure out why that's happening. I shouldn't be burning up inverters. Maybe an overload. That's what, even that would have. First of all, there wasn't an overload. Maybe like I have a leak somewhere in the wiring. I'm not sure, but the only thing I had plugged in was the deep freezer to just test everything, and that was it. There wasn't anything else that was drawing from it. There wasn't a load on it except the deep freezer. And I don't even think it was on. Like, I think it was already to temperature. But the batteries got low, so I turned it off, and the next day it didn't work. So I'm a little bit bummed that I can't use a deep freezer. But the deep freezer I can power off of the solar. That's what George was doing with the RV with the deep freezer. At nighttime, he would turn it off, so it didn't just run all night, and it would keep temperature, and he'd wake up in the morning and he'd flip the inverter back on, and it was on all day. Everything's wired up. It's got all the solar wiring and everything already done, so it should just be plug and play, where you if you want to replace the batteries, you unhook everything, pull the batteries out, put new batteries in. If you want to change the charge controller, that's fine. You just pull it, charge controller off there, all the wires out, and then plug it into the new charge controller. Some inverters I have will shut down like a low watt when I use the. Yeah, this one doesn't do that. It does have a little bit of an alarm that goes off, and you just turn it off. But like this isn't like it shut down while I was using it. It wasn't. The batteries just got low, and it got down to 12.2, so the inverter alarm went off, and it's just a beeping, and I turned it off. So I don't know. Maybe there is a breaker in there that got blown somehow. I have no idea how that could happen. It's not like I don't know solar. Like I've built a lot of solar systems. I have no idea what burned this one up. But like I said, it's not that big of a deal right now. My computer would be nice to be able to run it. And that, well, I have a TV also. So my laptop, my TV, and my deep freezer is really all I want to use 110 for. But I can live without that stuff because I have two solar batteries, or what, not solar batteries, but like jackeries or whatever. They call them solar generators, but I think that's a dumb name for them. Generator. It's not generator. And I have a really big battery pack. So, like, here, I'll show you my setup. This screen is plugged into my phone, into this phone right here. So I can control this screen from my phone. And it gives me like a mouse. If you look close enough, you can see a mouse. I can like exit out of this or minimize it. And it gives me a desktop version of my phone, basically. And my phone itself becomes a trackpad for the mouse. So, yep. This is how I watch Netflix and like all the things. And this is my backup phone. And it's, and it's running off of, well, I've got two jackeries here. I've got this one here, and it's on top of this one. This one's a 500 watt. This one's a 300 watt. And then I have this, which this can also power the screen and the phone too. And actually, excuse me, this has more amp hours than the top one does, the 300 watt one. The 500 watt one has more amp hours than this. But with those three things, and I can plug all those into the solar on the van, and it's fine, and it charges it. Plus, I have solar panels for like fold out solar panels for both of these. That plugs into both of these. So I have options for power because I had the van. I've got literally electricity for days. I've got 200 amp hours in the van. I got 200 amp hours in this thing. But right now, it's only really running the lights because there's no 12 volt outlet installed into this solar, and so it's just running the lights and the water pump. And I'll never run out of power. My lights, I could turn them on for a year. But the anything I really need to plug in, I plug into the van because I've installed a 12 volt outlet in there. So. The phone to the TV, how'd you mirror that? So it's Samsung DeX. It's basically something that comes on Samsung phones. It is really cool, especially for nomads, dude. This is like my favorite Samsung feature. It's a Samsung thing. It's called DeX, DEX. And not every Samsung device has this, but nowadays lots of them do. And all you do is plug it into you could plug it into the television also, and it'll do the same thing. You can plug it in. This is a portable computer monitor, is what it is. It's not that fancy. It's just like a small little portable monitor that has you can plug it it's powered by USB-C, and then this is going into the phone. So, it also charges the phone while I use it. And yeah, it's pretty slick, dude. For being a nomad, like here's what I'm thinking. People are like, why don't you get Starlink or whatever? Like, I already pay for my phone, right? I pay for my phone. and it has internet on my phone. So I figured out a way to use the phone's hotspot to give me internet. And if I'm in an area that doesn't have cell signal, well, too bad, I don't have internet. That's why I have an entire media server that I host. So I don't have to worry about like watching TV or doom scrolling on my phone all day. I mirror to the TV. I see. I thought you plugged it in. I did plug it in. That's how you do it. You plug it in. Prime Days on the 8th through the 10th of July. Look for good buys on stuff then. That's a good idea. On your phone, it's called Smart View. Yeah, my phone has Smart View also. It's just this isn't mirroring it. Like I said, I'll show you. My phone literally becomes the trackpad or the mouse, right? Right there. That mouse. It becomes the trackpad. So that's my fingers controlling the mouse. It's called Dex. So it gives me like a desktop version of my phone. So if I'm already paying for my internet on my phone, why would I buy internet twice while also getting Starlink or whatever? Now, if I was in Babylon, I could see a lot of benefits of having hardwired internet, but I'm not in Babylon, so since I don't want to buy internet 2 times, have it on my phone and then pay Starlink every month, and then or like a lot of people will get like what's it called, like the Verizon hotspots or whatever. That's sick, dude. Yeah, I like it. Samsung Dex. It's only on Samsung devices, but it's one of my favorite features of Samsung. It's definitely a good one for sure. Like I've never seen that on any other cell phone. Is the Dex system. But yeah, that's how I watch Netflix. That's how I monitor my live stream, like I'm doing right now with it. The chat's not coming up though. I am over here like vert de furk. Vert de furk. Oh well. That's fine. I'll survive. But so with the phone hooked up like this, and I've shown you guys this before, but was to if I was to plug in my laptop right now, it would and plug in my hard drive, it would host a media server that um I'd be able to like stream any of the stuff off of my hard drive onto any of the devices that are hooked up to my Wi-Fi hotspot. So if you're on my hotspot and we're camping together, then you'd be able to like watch anything that's on my hard drive from any of your devices. And that includes like a Google Chromecast. Like if I was in Babylon, dude, I would have this in my house for sure. I can't send much, but I'll send a few bucks for gas. Thanks, dude. Yeah, that's fine. I appreciate everyone's donations. All of them add up. If everyone sent $5-10, like I'd be sitting pretty. But to be honest with you, I'm not doing too bad right now. I think I've got enough fuel to make it to Oregon and to make it until the 1st. The 1st is basically every month I got to make it to the 1st, make it to the 1st, make it to the 1st. And I think I'm doing all right now. I'm not like rich by any means, but I think I'm doing all right. But having any help with fuel in this thing, because I genuinely have no idea how much it's going to cost in fuel. It was $125 just to get the fuel that I got last time I went, but I haven't burned through all that yet. I've only driven like 2 hours, so oh, you wait till the 2nd? Yeah, for me it's the 1st, but they don't pay me much, dude. You guys can look it up how much I make every month. I'm a disabled veteran and I'm rated at 50%, and I'm single. I gotta go, night driver. All right, drive safe, Sharon. Drive safe. But yeah, it's like it's about $1,000 a month is what I make it off of, and now I've got a bigger expense. Yeah, you get about the same as I do, bro. I feel you. I feel your pain. Also, Sturgis has an RV outlet store. So does Elkhart, Indiana. If you reach out with year and make model to them, they can get you a price for a new inverter. What's up, Critter Queen? The inverter, I'll show it to you. I'll go get it. It's my Renergy inverter, my 2000 watt that's been installed into the van for fucking ever. Yeah, this one right here. Yeah, it just won't turn on no more. And I was like wondering if there was like a reset button or something, but I don't know. I'm gonna open it pretty soon and figure out why. Yeah, I have no idea. But it stopped working and I'm very sad about it. 2000 watts. So here's my like thought process. So do I take this charge controller out of here and put the charge controller from the van in here, take the batteries out of here, and put the batteries from the van in here, because these are AGMs, those are lithium, or do I just start upgrading this one? Daryl, awesome amp. It's an inverter and it don't work no more. Does it smell burnt? No. There was no smoke or anything. It doesn't, thank God, it didn't burn up or anything, but I'm gonna open it up tomorrow and see if I can figure out if I can find a blown fuse or something. But it was working just fine, and then it stopped working. So while it was off, it wasn't even on. I went to bed, and when I woke up, it stopped working. Either the overload or overheating. See, that's maybe, but again, it was off, and I went to bed, and when I woke up, it wasn't working no more. Like it was working the day before just fine. And when the alarm went off, I turned it off, and I went and checked the charge controller, and it was like the batteries were low. So I was like, oh, that's why it was beeping. It's a low voltage alarm. Um, yeah, low voltage low voltage wouldn't blow an inverter. That's not. I've never heard of that. You just looked it up. Low voltage would blow an inverter. Hey, thanks, Sharon. Thanks for that donation. Fuck yeah, $40 donation. I appreciate you so much. That'll definitely do. Well, I guess I could do a Google search on here. Let's do it. You think a low voltage alarm on a Renergy will ruin it? Will low voltage on inverter ruin it? See, it says operating an inverter at consistently low voltage can potentially damage it. But that's not what I did. Though many inverters have built-in protection mechanisms, low voltage can cause the inverter to overheat, draw excessive current, or even shut down, potentially leading to component failure or reduced lifespan. See, but it didn't have that didn't happen. It wasn't. It's got an alarm to let you know like your power's low. But it didn't shut down. I shut it down, bro. Like you're not understanding. I turned it off. It didn't shut down. It just didn't turn on again the next morning. So what will ruin an inverter? What's the matter? Come here. Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, you need to go potty? Oh, Zach needs to go out. Oh, no, she doesn't. She needs to drink. Plays with my heart. So overloading, overheating, environmental factors, which was beautiful here. See, it says operating an inverter with a deeply discharged battery. Yeah, that I could see. But my battery wasn't deeply discharged. It was still above 12 volts. Internal component like capacitor or relays can fail, compromising the inverter's functionality and potentially causing further damage. See, I got to open it up. That's what I got to do. I just got to open it up and like look at, see if anything is blown. It does concern me that the first inverter that was in this system, it started when I turned it on, it was working for like 30 minutes. And then it does the weirdest thing. It still works, but when I turn it on, it turns on and then it slowly, like the light turns off, and then it goes and turns on again. And then slowly the light turns off. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? So I pulled it out and I put mine in that I know works. And by the next day, it didn't work. So I'm a little concerned about putting any more on here. You know what? I'm like a little unsure about it. So I'm not an electrician. Maybe there are some components onto this solar system or onto this electrical system that I'm not familiar with. So maybe I actually have an RV electrician look at it and figure out like, why am I burning up inverters? I shouldn't be. See if any vanes are burnt. I don't know what that means. I unplug and plug stuff back in again. See, that's the thing. I did unplug our inverter. It's a bitch. It's kind of a pain in the ass to hook these up and unhook them the way that it is in here, especially because I got to mount it sideways and then screw in like, tighten down each lead, the positive and negative, into the back of the inverter. Anyways, it's a bit of a chore. But I was thinking maybe if I plug it back in, it'll just magically start working again. Maybe if I reinstalled it into the van, it'll magically start working again. I'm not really sure, but everything else in the solar system's fine. The batteries are charging. I could probably, there is a hot and a positive and a negative not bus bars, but terminals underneath where I'm sitting right now. And I could plug in some like 12-volt outlets in under this bench seat that I'm on, which I might actually end up doing, because then I could basically charge most of the stuff I have. I couldn't run the mini fridge like that. I couldn't run the TV like that. But, at least I could charge everything that I need. Like I said, there's also an onboard generator, which would be pretty useful if I could get that thing. I want to make sure that I look at it and check the fluids and everything before I try to fire it up. So, yeah, there's a few things on this RV that I need to like work out the kinks on, work out the issues that it might have, but I haven't had this thing plugged in to the wall yet. Like, it's got the power cord. I haven't even plugged it in yet. So if you can scratch fiberglass and can run wire to repair. I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about any of the like the wires? None of the wires are burnt or anything. Everything's running okay, I guess. Like the rest of the solar works. Could be the 88.2 gigawatt with the internal gigawatt micro enabler right next to the flux capacitor. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the inverter. Yeah, there's also, I looked up a couple of the internal specs on the inverter, and there's a couple of what are they called? Not breakers, but fuses in there that might be blown. So maybe that's the problem. But I'm gonna hang on to this inverter, and I'm gonna call Renergy. I'm gonna hook it all back up. I'm gonna call Renergy and be like, "Ferk to Ferk," and maybe they'll just send me a new one. I don't know if it's still under warranty or if this is an issue, like a manufacturer's problem, because I didn't do nothing wrong. I know how to hook up negative and negative, positive, positive. And it was working. I was so stoked because I had some other shit go wrong. And I'm like, you know what? I need a win. I'm swapping out my inverter and putting it in the RV. And I did it all, and it took me about an hour, and I hooked it all up, and it was running. And I was like, yes, that's a fucking win, a win for the day. And then the next morning, I was like, ugh, why is this not working? And the inverter just won't turn on. Maybe I can plug in the new one or the old one, and it'll start magically working. I don't know. But now I got two busted ass inverters I'm carrying around. Well, come on over, man. Come on to Oregon. Meet me in Oregon, and you can fix my inverter for me. Check out my solar if you know what you're doing. You're more than welcome. That's what I need. The neighbor has one of those side by sides that they're like cruising around in. I definitely need one of those. Maybe I could put it on top of the van and then tow the van, and then it would carry the side by side. Yeah, that's what they have. It's an ATV, bro. Come on over, neighbor. Shit, now making it out to your neck of the woods critter is going to be even harder. I'll have to start it like, it'll take me months to get there because I'll have to start it like California or Arizona and just start slowly making my way with each paycheck every month, getting a little bit closer and a little bit closer and trying not to burn up all my money before I get there. Oh, yeah, dude, you want to see what they have? They just rolled up in it. They got here yesterday. Yeah, the RV is a diesel pusher. It's got an Oshkosh chassis with a 6.5 liter diesel. I think it's a 6.5. The generator is also a diesel, but I haven't fired it up yet. Yeah, the best part about the RV is it's a brand new motor, dude. It's got less than 100,000 miles. It does have a turbo, but it's still fucking gutless, dude. Like hitting hills, I've got my flashers on, and I'm like, go around, bitch. That's something else I need to get. I need to get the adapter to plug the trailer into the RV so I have trailer lights. I don't have the adapter for that yet. But that's what he's got. It'd be nice to cruise around in that thing. But that one, dude, those things are like, that's like the cost of that's the cost of a car, dude. Like some of those are like 16 grand or more. Maybe I can tune it, get a cool air intake. Yeah, maybe. Um, get a shot of propane into it. Dude, the lake is. Have you not seen it yet, Michelle? I held the camera on it for a little while earlier. Here, I'll do it again. This is a beautiful spot. Yeah, cool air intake would make the fuel mileage go up. Dude, I'm not much of a mechanic, to be completely honest with you. I don't know how to do those things. My friend Dave does. My Dave would probably be able to help me with something like that, but I don't really have the money to like spend on a cool air intake either. How long am I going to be here? So yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow. This is my last night here. If this is like here, it's like so zoomed out, you're not really getting the best perspective. But like it is phenomenal here. Yeah, come on out to Oregon, bro. I've been here over a week. It's a completely free camp spot. Um, and you can camp here for free for 2 weeks. It's got fire pits and picnic tables at each spot. It's got bathrooms down there, pit toilets if you don't have one in your van or in your tent. I would not recommend a tent here. It has been very, very windy. Very windy, which you'll see that in my next video. Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow, going to Oregon. The reason is, and which is kind of like the reason I titled this live stream the way I did, is there's 4 resources in my RV. I was trying to figure out how long I could last for before I had to leave. And those 4 propane. I didn't know how long my 5-gallon propane tank would last. Gray water, if my gray water tank filled up. Black water, my black water tank filled up. And then fresh water. If any of those 4 resources, like, filled up or ran out of, then it would force me to move the RV. And I ran out of fresh water like an hour before the live stream started because I was doing dishes. And I thought I just looked yesterday, and maybe the day before, and it looked like I had plenty of water. But dude, the dishes is what kills you. Doing dishes, I think, is what really used up all my water. So it's just forcing me to move. I'm gonna hook everything up in the morning and boogie on out of here and start heading towards Oregon. It's time. It's time. Come to Connecticut. You can hang here while we hook up the RV and can take the ATVs to Maine and get the best bud. Dude, I might be down, but that's a lot of miles and a lot of money to get there. And I'm going the other direction. There's a couple of things I got to do in Oregon. First of all, my ID is expired. My driver's license is expired. It expired on my birthday in January. So I got to go renew it. Second, I've got a whole bunch of stuff in my friend's attic that's been up there for 2 years. And I think he's ready for me to get my shit out of the attic. And I told him, like, last year when I was there, I was like, I'm supposed to have a bigger vehicle by now, and I don't. So I'm coming back with a bigger vehicle so I can fit all that stuff in it. So I'm coming back with this, and I'll be able to fit everything into it. And then it was either that or I get a storage unit. So thankfully, I don't have to get a storage unit. And then 3, I've got to go meet my grandson. My daughter is in Salem, so I'm going to go there and hang out with her and meet my grandson because now I'm a grandpa. Grandpa Zig. So yeah, I've got to go to Oregon. And Connecticut is like on the other side of the country. And maybe next summer. Next summer, I am not going to fucking Oregon, dude. Next summer, I'm not going to Oregon. I've gone to Oregon for like the last 3 or 4 summers in a row. And I got to go somewhere else. So maybe Michigan next summer. But that's kind of how I schedule things, is by seasons. Hell yeah, I'll check out that message on Instagram. It's actually been a hot minute since I've been on my Instagram. I should put more energy into my Instagram and my TikTok. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. So yeah, I gotta go meet my grandbaby. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. It's definitely worth leaving that spot for. Enjoy that grandson. I sure will. I will. I gotta go. I mean, I keep thinking, should I buy him a gift? But then I keep going back to maybe I should buy mom a gift. And then I'm like, well, maybe I should just buy him like fucking diapers and like, stuff they need. So it's kind of hard. I don't know. Never been a grandpa before. So yeah. Bottles. He needs a matching hat, just like yours. Shit, yeah. I bet he'd fill it out nicely. All right, you guys got me for another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to get off of here. There's some little things I'm going to do tonight to get ready to go tomorrow, but maybe I'll hook up the van tonight too. Maybe not. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I don't know. I'm not really feeling very motivated today. I should cook some food. I do have fish fillets, and I have burgers and eggs and bacon. Maybe I'll wrap a burger with bacon. Go live and have a fire. I don't have any firewood, bro. I got cardboard, I guess I could burn, but I don't have any firewood. Buy him a mini bike. He'll grow into it. It's so funny. When I was a kid, I had a 79 Honda mini bike. That went like 20 miles an hour. A little 49cc. That's what I got around on while everyone else was pedaling. Cooking with Zig tonight. Dude, I'm not much of a cook. I actually wish that I was a better cook. Burger with bacon and a sunny side up egg on it. That's not a bad idea. Am I sure it's not a 5.9 it's coming? Yeah, I'm sure. It's not a Cummins. I wish it was a Cummins. I have the owner's manual. Right here. Oh, wait, that's not it. That's it. Right there. It's on an Oshkosh chassis, but it's a T-Line Coach rear diesel 6.5 liter. 6.5. And it does have a turbo, but dude, it's still gutless. Like, this is my second diesel pusher, and my first diesel pusher didn't have a turbo, and it's the same as this. I was thinking, oh, it's got a turbo. That means when I hit a hill, I'm not going to go blah, 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 blah. But I fucking was wrong, bro. Like, it does slow down on the hills. You can hear the turbo kick in. It does give me a little bit of power, but if the hill's too steep, it's like, psh, I'm back there with the semi-trucks. Oh, that's what yours is? The 6.5? Zag, can you go potty? You guys want to see Zag? Don't mind the mess. Ugh. You go potty? Stop. Sit. Up. Oh, that's a good girl. Come on, let's go outside. Whoa. You want to go potty? That's another thing. Oh, she's already barking at something. Zag, relax. What are you barking at? Let me go check on her. Hey, what is your problem? What are you barking at? Oh, now you're done? You barking at the neighbors? You know they're allowed to exist, right, Zag? Okay, you just had to pee. And then the other dog, Buddy, is also outside. He likes being outside. He chills outside pretty much most days. Oh, you have a 5.9 Cummins, I see. Probably needs a good tune-up. Injection could be. I did put fuel stabilizer in it for diesels. But yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm sure that it could use a tune-up. That's probably true. But like, you're talking about money I ain't got. How does Zag like the extra space? She's all right. This is her second RV. I guess her third RV, but the first RV we only had for a year, and then I upgraded to a diesel. My first one was a gasser in it. It was like fucking $1,000 to drive it south from Oregon. So, ended up getting a diesel, and it was way cheaper to drive it around. And so she's had an RV before, but I think she likes the extra space. I think, you know what she really likes is the bed. I think she likes the bed in here a lot more than she liked the small bed in the van. I think she likes it in the RV more than the van. I know I like it in the RV more than the van. And I get to have Buddy also with me. And he's got space too, so I got space for 2 dogs, which I don't think I'll ever have 2 dogs again, not with my lifestyle. It does make the lifestyle a little difficult. So I think it'll just be me and Zag once Buddy's gone, but I'll be taking care of Buddy until he passes away. He's a geriatric boy. He's old. You know, we don't think he has a whole lot of time left, but I'll be taking care of him until that day, and then we're gonna have him cremated, and so him and George can be together. But I got George ashes inside of here, and yeah, hopefully get some of Buddies one day too. Run seafoam. Do I put that in the gas tank? Put in diesel heat in the tank. I did put diesel heat in the tank. If you guys watch my last video, I covered a whole bunch of stuff that I did to the RV. I fixed some of the plumbing because the plumbing was leaking. I did do the heat into the RV. The glow plug module has a bypass button that I have to worry about. Plus, I also didn't know what I was doing with the brakes until I did know what I was doing with the brakes, but that still wasn't even the problem. I was bleeding the brakes in the wrong spot. So when the mechanic got here, we bled the brakes in the right spot, and it still wasn't doing nothing. It was still a problem. So he had to hook up some machine to it. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic, and I was in here while he did it, but it sucked all the air out of it, out of the lines, and yeah, it took not any time at all, and the brakes came back. So yeah, I just had a whole bunch of air in the lines apparently, which happens to this thing. George has had that issue for a long time, for years. If it sits for too long, he's got to bleed the brakes, and then the brakes come back. So for some reason, there is air getting into the lines, and he said that he's gotten the brakes looked at before, and they couldn't find an issue. So he's just been dealing with it. Whenever it sits for a month or two, you got to just bleed the brakes. And now I know how to. So hopefully the next time it actually works, because last time I was just bleeding in the wrong spot. Yeah, I'll get some seafoam. Is that injector cleaner? Pulling the van will bog the turbo power on your RV too. It probably is why you don't notice the difference. Maybe. I mean, the van isn't too heavy, but you're right. It's not like the lightest vehicle in the world. And I will probably always have the van hooked up to the RV, unless of course I sell the RV and I get a motorcycle, which is I'm heavily considering selling the van and getting a motorcycle. Harbor Freight has a power bleeder cheap for brakes. Okay, does that mean I could bleed the brakes by myself? Because that's the only thing I'm worried about one day is the brakes are soft and I can't bleed them because I'm by myself. And Zag's not going to be able to help me, so. You guys got me for 2 more minutes. You made me go over. Made me go over by 10 minutes because I was just bullshitting. And a sidecar for Zag and the other pup? You know, no. I fucking hate sidecars on a motorcycle. So either I could like get a motorcycle, or I can get like a really light vehicle, like a old school Volkswagen Bug or something I can flat tow, something that doesn't need the car dolly. So yeah, I got some options down the road, I guess. Safe travels tomorrow. Enjoy the drive. Thanks, Scattered. I appreciate that. Complete kit for $20 to bleed the brakes. I'm gonna have to look into that, Jay. They want to ride in style too. They can't lean with a sidecar, dude. Take care, Sam. I appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, oh yeah, I can bleed it by myself. That's gonna. I'll definitely have to look into that. I'm gonna probably need that one day. It'd be a nice tool to have. All right, guys. Thanks for being on the live stream. Appreciate you letting me ramble at you. Thank you so much for those who donated. If you guys want to donate, Critterbones is posting my links right now. There's my link tree. It's also pinned at the top of the comments right now. Or you can find it in the description of my video or the description of the channel. It's all there. My link tree is there with all my social media links and my donation links and whatnot. I do have my wish list on there, but it's not live right now because I don't have an address. But yeah, I'll look for that on Instagram, Jay. Y'all take care. Appreciate you being here. Miles of smiles, you guys.